viewer, Sir Handel, Rusty, and Fred recently visited the Tallylyn Railway in Wales for an event called the Audrey Extravaganza, an event revolving around Wilbert Audrey, who wrote much about the engines of Sodor. They recently returned home and had much to say. Sun gone, moonlight, machines and workers winding down, the sound of crickets and the constant hum coming from within the works. Barry thundered past the Tallylyn Railway shed at Curvin Street, pulling the limit, scheduled to reach Barrow by 10. The sheds were quiet, and the engines were getting impatient. "Well," asked Rheneas, "how was it?" Rheneas was, of course, talking about the event on the Tallylyn Railway in Wales, which Rusty, Sir Handel, and Fred had attended.
"It was certainly grand,"
replied Rusty, seemingly dazzled by just the memory of it.
"I knew we had so many fans. They all seemed overjoyed to see us."
Sir Handel joined in too. "Well, it was certainly better than the last time I was there. Sir Hayden got an eye injury this time, ironically." Naturally, Ivo Hugh, being his caring self, was worried by this. "Did he really? Was it another branch?" he asked, in a worried tone. No, replied Sir Handel. "It was a workshop mishap. And before you ask, he is fine. A bloody copycat, that's what he is." This, of course, was typical of Sir Handel. "Oh, I won't worry about it," said Peter Sam in a joking tone. "Imitation is the highest form of flattery, after all." "Oh, Godred, I feel so flattered," Sir Handel replied sarcastically. Peter Sam continued to inquire. "Did you enjoy it, Fred?" "Okay, he's already asleep, never mind." "So, was that all?" asked Duncan, seemingly underwhelmed. "Well," began Sir Handel, "Rusty did win an award for something about gardening, or something like that." Rusty saw what Sir Handel was trying to do.
"Now, Sir Handel, aren't you forgetting something?"
said Rusty slyly. It rained?" Sir Handel stuttered, beginning to panic.
"I'm talking about the race,"
Rusty said at last. "The race?" asked Skarloey, now interested. "Rusty, we talked about this," yelped Sir Handel.
"You talked about this. I didn't agree to anything,"
Rusty replied. "Well," said Skarloey, "don't keep an old engine in suspense."
"Very well, then,"
they said.
"It occurred on the first day."
This is the story that Rusty told. Sir Handel was waiting with his train at Tywin Wharf, the lower station on the Tallylyn Railway. He was visiting the railway with both Rusty and Fred for a special event celebrating the life and legacy of a man called Wilbert Audrey, who had wrote books about him and the other engines on the railway. Sir Handel had great respect for the Audrey family, but that hadn't stopped him from interrupting Wilbert's daughter multiple times while she was giving a speech to the crowd. The other engines were giving him the cold bunker because of this, but he didn't care. He was basking in all of the attention from fans he was being given. He was having his photograph taken, but when he looked back at the station platform, he saw his guard speaking with a man he had seen walking about the station with a microphone and a camera earlier that day. The guard then ran up to him, telling Sir Handel that he had to race a car to Rydronen, the third station of the line, for unspecified reasons. "Oh, I'm getting too old for this," replied Sir Handel. The guard looked taken aback. "Are you kidding me?" "Yes, I'm kidding you. I'm only 121 years old. Now let's go. Get a move on." The guard did move, and right as he blew his whistle, Sir Handel booted out of the station as fast as a little old engine like himself could go. The coaches began reminiscing amongst themselves about Dogok in their youth. Sir Handel didn't like this at all. He wanted the spotlight to be on him, so he whistled loudly and jolted forward, and a yelp could be heard from the guard's van. "We've lost connection!" the guard yelled. Sir Handel didn't understand why he was so worried over connections, but he didn't think much of it. He was, of course, focused on winning. "What the?" Sir Handel yelled in shock. as Pendray came into view and his crew applied the brakes. "We aren't scheduled to stop here." His crew sighed. "We need to stop here so Tom Rolt can pass through," his crew replied, bracing themselves for an argument. This argument never came to be, however, as Tom Rolt soon came into view. "Come on, get a move on," yelled Sir Handel, furious about this delay.
"Now what's gotten you in such a hurry?"
asked Tom Rolt innocently. "I am in the middle of a race, and you are preventing me from winning."
"A race? With who?"
"Oh, just some random car," replied Sir Handel. Tom Rolt saw this as an opportunity to put Sir Handel in his place.
"You wouldn't perhaps be talking about Car the car?"
asked Tom Rolt, still playing innocent. "Car the car? Seriously?" Sir Handel asked, not buying it.
"Car's spelled with 2 R's. The second R stands for racing, as he's never lost a race, and even with an HST.
Sir Handel, being his fame-thirsty self, immediately jumped to a singular motive: beat Car. "Well, I wouldn't say it's been a pleasure talking to you, Tolt," Sir Handel said suddenly, "but I've got a race to win." He jolted to a start and bolted out of the yard just as Tom Rolt's final coach cleared the points. I'm going to win, sung Sir Handel with misled assurance. Sure you will, sang the coaches, being old enough to know how it would damn well end up. Very well, then, said Sir Handel in a very assured voice. If I lose, I shall banish myself to quarry work for a whole month once I return to Sodor. But the coaches made sure to tell Rusty of this later. But anyways, the route was uphill from there, but Sir Handel was making good time, or so he thought. He rushed past trees and hills, and at last Rydronen came in view. But once stopped, Sir Handel's boiler sank. He wasn't expecting to see Carr already there, and certainly not expecting to see that the almighty Carr was a simple 2008 Toyota. Sir Handel realized what Tom Rolt had meant, and he felt very foolish. You've never been in a race before, have you? Carr, a cheerful and bouncy kind of fellow, replied, No, sir. Were you who I was racing? The guard seemed more distraught than Sir Handel was pissed off, which is really saying something. It was revealed that the guard had been so assured that he would win that he had already made merchandise based on his expected version of the race's outcome, which, of course, included the train winning. "I'll hate you, Carr," he said sourly. "You better not mention this to anybody," Sir Handel muttered to the coaches. But alas, Sir Handel should have known better than to trust coaches. Duncan and Peter Sam began laughing hysterically. "Lost to a little Toyota, and you thought they were what? A Lamborghini Esto Elemento?" Duncan wheezed. "You know, Sir Handel, I thought you knew better than to jump to such conclusions," Peter Sam poked. "Goodness, Sir Handel, sounds like you had quite a time," Skarloey chuckled.
Huh? Who had a time?
yawned Duke, waking up from his nap.
I haven't even gotten to the best part.
Purred Rusty, watching as Sir Handel's expression turned to pure terror. Rusty continued, chuckling.
The man in the car was recording live and streaming it onto the internet.
The entire shed erupted into laughter, loud enough to wake Fred, the coaches in the next shed over, and Crove in the works diesel on the other side of the yard. "Never speak of this again, or it will be the end of you," Sir Handel said, attempting to save what he could of his dignity. "I would never," said Skarloey defensively. Sir Handel, apparently having not learned anything about how fast words can spread in his past 72 years of working on the Tallylyn Railway, believed him. The story spread to the main line, from the main line to the branch lines and the rest of the island. But I think Sir Handel deserved it, don't you?